All right, welcome back to Coffee Cafe. So once again, where we last left off is we finished up everything for the transaction for the month, for the day of June 20th. Only thing that we have left to do is the grand opening sales. So here we are. Okay, so on the 20th of June, this is what happened. We sold 86 medium regular coffee. We sold 92 large regular coffee, and we sold 89 medium supreme coffee, and we sold 93 large supreme coffees, and we sold a total of 5 ceramic coffee mugs. Again, we are still on our grand opening, so we have a 20% discount, and tax was $67.81. So, how do I journalize this transaction? How do I journalize this transaction?
Okay, you would use sales regular coffee.
This is the grand opening sales.
Yeah. Give me a second.
Anybody else want to try? How would you journalize this transaction?
So we first will list the total sale as a check-in for the day, and then we also list sale discount for just like that. And then we list individual sales for different size of a cup, and then ceramic amount, and then the amount of tax we collected.
Okay, so how much cash did we collect at the end of the day?
We had 889.69, and then the discount we give out was 205.47. And then for medium regular, we have 171.14. Large is 275.08. And super medium is 221.61. And then super large was 324.57. And then we collected, and then mug was 34.95. And we collected tax 67.81.
Okay, let's run my formula. So I got 1,095 and 16 on the left versus 1,095.16 on the right. So in this case, no typos. Okay. All right.
And then so on the same deposit,
What was that?
on the same Excel book, we go to the bank deposit tab, and then we have in-store sale 889.69. and then it's 620, and then slip 5.
For a grand total amount of?
Uh,
We have to deposit the check that we
yeah,
received today.
yeah. So I have 953.57.
Good. 953.57. Okay, good.
57. Yes.
Okay, good.
And then we move on to the general ledger.
Okay.
And then I go with asset first. And then for checking, we update the sale of the day. It's on page 9. And it's 889.69.
Okay. So how much money should you have in your checking account?
Let me go to there. I have 2001 even. Ooh. Where is the somewhere? 2, 5. Ooh. Okay. I have to find it where I made a mistake somewhere.
Okay.
132. Okay, I bought. Yes, I have the same number.
Okay, perfect. Just making
I
sure.
didn't have a I didn't have an updated formula.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yes, now I have a 211.53.
Good.
And then we also goes down the same book at the tab to the sales discount.
So revenues, sales discount.
Mhm. And then we debit 205.7. So I have a total of 77175.
771.75. Good.
Yeah. And then we go up on the same tab. First it's Supreme Coffee Large.
You gonna okay? You gonna go that way?
Yeah, so that I don't have to go back and forth.
Okay.
If you at
Just
the
let
bottom.
okay. Just give me 1 second. So large supreme coffee. Okay.
We got 93. And it's page 9. And then credit 324.57. And then I have a total of 1207.54.
Okay.
And then we go up one more to a medium supreme coffee. And I have 89 cup. It's on page 9. And it's 221.61. And I have a total of 44571.
Okay. So you must have subtracted. Did you put on the debit
Mhm.
side?
Probably. Yeah. Now I have 85407.
Good. 85407. Good.
Go up on a large regular. I have 92 cup. And page 9. It's 275.08. total is 989. And then one
Wait,
last
you
one we
said
have
989
six
six
nine.
nine. Okay.
And then we have
Sorry.
oh no. Always makes me think it's something with my computer.
No.
And then last one is a medium lager. We have 86 cup. And then page 9. And then I have 17114. And makes it to 660.68.
Yep. Good. 660, 68. Oops.
And then that is that for that one.
What about the ceramic coffee mugs?
Oh yes. We have 5 unit, and it's page 9, and it's 34.95. And I have 271.54.
Good.
And then so for the sale by itself, that's the end of it.
Okay.
And now we need to update the amount of coffee we used to
Well,
serve.
don't forget the sales tax.
Oh, didn't we do sales stuff?
Not yet.
Okay. It's on liability.
Yes. So that's why it's very important that you go in order so you don't forget an account. Okay, so 620. In-store
9
sales, page 9.
and 6781. And I have 254.68.
254.68. Good.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's it.
ledger's done.
Yes.
Okay. So in this case, let's see, we already deposited the money in the bank, so we now need to update our inventory. So for this in-store sales, we used a total of 17 pounds of regular coffee and 17 and a half pounds of the Supreme coffee. So 17 pounds at what average cost? Somebody? We're doing inventory.
Okay,
We
it's at the cost of 1.609428.
good. So what's
The
my
total
grand total? Go ahead.
the total is 2736.
27.36. So as soon as I push my enter in that cost per item, Excel is picking up what I am doing here. So it has calculated for me $27.36. Good. So let's go ahead and
And
update.
just the 17.
So how many pounds should I have left? Oops.
Yeah, 166 and a half, and I'm not sure on that one yet.
Okay, so in this case, if I started out with $295.33,
260 something.
and I used up 27.36, that should give me a total of 267.97. Okay. Which this should actually change my average cost per item by 100,000th of a penny, or 10,000. No, that's 100,000. Yep.
Right.
Okay. Is it possible, Mercy, that you can turn down whatever you have in the background?
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn my I'm gonna mute it. I'm at family's house, so I've got internet. So hang on.
No worries. Okay, so there you go. We got $267.97 left remaining. And let's see, we used $27.36 worth of regular coffee. So now we got to move on to my Supreme coffee. I used 17.5 pounds. Okay. Since we're using FIFO, which batch of inventory am I going to sell out from first?
We're still on the first one.
We're still on the very first batch of inventory. So in this case, my cost per item is currently right now $1.80. So what is my actual total cost of goods sold here? If I used 17. So if I use 17.5 pounds at $1.80 will give me
$31.50.
$31.50. Okay. So let's go ahead and do my math. If I had 57.5 and I just used 17.5, how much should I have left?
40.
You should have 40, right? So let's double check my answer here just so then I can for surely confirm that this is true. We got 103.50 minus 31.50, and that gave you a total of $72. So awesome. Math is correct there. So I am ending with 165 pounds left at a total of $300.50. Okay, so in this case, we used $31.50 of the Supreme coffee, and we used $27.36 for the regular coffee. So $31.50.
Okay, so we go back over to the cost of goods sold. Yeah, you've got all those plugged in.
Oh, okay.
You see how good you are? You know exactly what you're doing then. And then we would go to the general journal.
General ledger.
Or yeah,
Okay.
and start with regular coffee.
Cost of goods sold regular.
Sold.
Good.
You would have sold 17 pounds.
In this case, this was in-store use, so used 17 pounds. I don't.
Yeah.
If it matters to you, it matters to you. If not,
Right.
I just want to make sure
it
that.
Does. It does.
So
page 9, 27.36. You have 113 something or 114.
134.
I'm way off. I'm just looking at little, so.
That's okay. 134.28.
Then we go down to the Supreme, and we use 17.5 pounds. On page 9 for $31.50.
Oops.
And it would be 162, 163.
153 even.
All right. And then we have to go to assets, to regular coffee.
Where we gotta update my inventory. Oh, here's my regular coffee.
There it is. Okay. And we use 17 pounds for 27.36. And the total is 322.69.
Oh, I think you added.
Oh, yeah, I did. That was dumb. Okay. All right. So I blew that one. I will put that different. Okay. And then down to the Supreme.
All right, so then you got 267.97. Does that match your inventory worksheet? I believe it does.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, it does.
All right, and then last but not least, Supreme Coffee.
Is we use 17 and a half, and it was 31.50. Be a total of 350.
Good, which I for sure remember that number. So 350 cents is correct. Awesome.
Okay. And that takes care of the cost of goods.
Good. All right, awesome. So let's go ahead and see what happened next. So now that we are officially done with the 20th, we have one more day of transactions. So let's just skim on forward just to see how many we actually have left. Now, if we finish today, we are not doing the trial balance today, right? Because this right here already looks like we're going to be doing the whole entire day. So as far as that, we will do the trial balance starting tomorrow, okay, not today. But let's go ahead and dive into the very last day of transactions because now it is officially Friday, June 21st, okay? So let's see what we have to do. We have to pay higher temps for that temporary help agency, right? For that one person that we said that we wanted for 3 whole days to work 8 hours shift per day, and we promised to pay them $15 an hour. So they showed up. So whatever we owe for higher temps is what we have to pay higher temps. So how do we do this?
We need to check out the contract that we have with them.
Okay.
What's the subsidiary ledger?
Mm-hmm. There you go. Higher temps.
So we owe them $360.
We owe them $360. Okay. Now, were we given a bill?
No, because the bill is the contract we have is kind of the invoice because they told us how much we needed to pay them and when they expect us to pay them.
Correct, but they did not bill us. Because again, we also have to take into consideration, right? Can this temporary work agency pull the job and get it done? Can they hire me, that one person, to do all 3 days for 8 hours a day? And if they can, great. If that person ends up showing up sick, that's the contract becomes nulled at that point because they breached their contract, right? So in this case, I wouldn't be paying them $360. But because that person did show up for all 3 days for all 8 hours and clocked in all 24 hours, then we can go ahead and pay them for the respective $360 that we owe them. Okay. Good. Now, how are we going to pay them?
We'll pay them with check.
Okay, so good. We're going to pay them with a check. Now?
So, we're going to enter the journal as I picked the subcontractor expense.
Okay.
It is actually a temporary labor expense under payroll.
Not under payroll.
In the expenses, the operating, there's a temporary labor expense. They're under subcontractor.
Yep, under subcontractor, there is a temporary labor work expense. Or temporary labor expense. So in this case, that is definitely more accurate. Now, subcontractor, technically, yes, they're an independent contractor. Yes, they would fall under that category, but we actually have an actual more better account to use, which is the temporary work labor expense. So in this case, we would definitely categorize it as that one. So in this case, that is $65.20 for that temporary labor expense, $65.20. And you said we are going to pay them via checking. For how much?
$360.
Okay. If you want to do your math again in here, right? 3 times, 8 times 15 times 3. If you want to double confirm that that's correct, you may do so in the calculation or in the spreadsheet right here. But we owe them $360. Okay.
So now we move on to the check register next to cut the check and get the check number.
Good. Today's the 21st, so.
And we pay $360. And then it's higher temp. And then it's invoice number 36515 or the contract 36515.
Okay. 1521 is our check number.
So I will hire temp, contractor number 36515, and check number 1521. And so so we go to the general ledger. And then operational expense. And then we add it to a temporary labor expense.
There you go. Perfect. Temporary labor. Okay, you could put 1 worker 3 days, 8, 8 hours, 8 hours per day, $15 per hour.
And it's on page 9.
For $360. Okay.
And then we go checking on the asset. And then it's check number 1521.
For $360?
Yes.
Okay, so how much money should I have left?
1750.53.
Good. Still very low on money. But it's only been, what, 5 days of operations? Wow. Okay. That grand opening discount is really hurting us. So let's see what's next.
And then that's it, because it wasn't journalized before. So.
Okay, but what else do we have to update?
The subsidiary.
Oh, that's upside delete to say that we paid them.
Exactly, right? Because right now it says that we owe them money. So I'm going to highlight this in yellow to remind myself that I am going to make a payment for this transaction right here. Okay. So what is today's date? The 21st, right? Because it was due on the 21st.
And it's check number 1521. And then we go all the way to payment. So the balance is now 0.
Yeah, so if you had your equal sum in here, you would have 0. Okay. So then, right after that, on the 21st, we ended up returning 4 cracked ceramic coffee mugs and to the vendor for a full refund. So we demanded a full refund for 4 cracked coffee mugs. So how should I record this?
Now, aren't we periodic weighted average on the ceramic mugs?
That is correct. We are using periodic tracking method.
Okay.
So when we received our ceramic coffee mugs, we initially journalized them as what?
They were under purchase expense.
Correct. They were under purchase expense. So what can I use to represent that I am getting a refund for 4 of those ceramic coffee mugs? Let's take a look.
purchase returns and allowances.
What kind?
Oh, it would be under purchase expense. The purchase and returns and allowances is what we
Excellent.
will put that to.
Correct, because in this case, right, like I've mentioned, expenses usually are not they once an expense has occurred, right? It's kind of difficult to undo an expense. So how do we undo an expense? We're unfortunately going to have to create a contra account. So in this case, it's exactly what we're using. We're using purchase returns allowances, which is a contra account to the purchase expense account. So in this case, that is number 61,500. Now, what else are we going to be receiving back?
You'll get a check back.
Well, did we even pay for our
No,
coffee
we didn't,
mugs?
So it's on accounts payable.
It's on an accounts payable. Now, since if you were to refund a person, right, but they haven't paid yet, what is the only option you can do? Because you can't give them money back. They never paid for it. So what would you do?
So you debit accounts payable for the amount.
Correct, you would.
Credit the purchase returns and allowances.
Good, right? Because in this case, you would basically give them their refund, but just take it off of their invoice because they never paid it in the first place. You don't give them money, or if you could, if you want to, you can give them a credit for future purchases, but most likely, if you're constantly purchasing, that could be a second option. But most likely, you're just going to adjust the actual invoice instead of give a future credit. Okay, so in this case, you said accounts payable because we never paid anything to the we haven't paid the vendor yet for the ceramic coffee mugs. Okay.
Now, don't we need to go to, if I remember right, we bought the first set for $245 and the second set for $246. If it's weighted average, we have to go figure out how much we're getting. No, they're doing it for the two. Now, we've got to figure it on the inventory first, don't we? Because
Well,
it's weighted average.
in this case, no. We don't need to figure out anything. I am sorry. I am very struggling with my keyboard today. It very returns and allowances. Okay. For account number 61,500. Now, in this case, right, assume this.
That it's the last shipment that came in.
Correct.
Because we didn't return it before. Okay.
Correct, right? In this case, when did we actually receive our last batch of inventory?
Yesterday.
Yes, exactly. Yesterday on the 20th, right? Now, in this case, right, if we had a problem or an issue, right, what is the rule of thumb once you receive your inventory?
You check it out and put it into inventory. And
Excellent.
Send it back if need be.
Exactly, right? You don't wait until, in this case, you don't wait 10 days later to be like, oh, I want a refund. Your vendor's going to be like, no. Why did you wait 10 days later? That means you didn't do your very good job of being an inventory manager and checking the merchandise before stocking it, right? So in this case, that's exactly what that means. So we are looking at the last batch that we just purchased. So in this case, we found 4 broken mugs, but because it was so busy on Thursday, we decided to do it the following day. And that's exactly what we did here. So now that we found 4 of those coffee mugs are broken, and it's going to come from the last batch that we received, how should my refund go? So down below, right, we're going to refund 4, right, because it's cracked for a full refund. At what cost did I originally purchase each coffee mug at?
It was at $246 each.
to
And since there were 4, it's at 984 total.
good, because in this case, we cannot include the shipping. The shipping is an extra cost that we had to agree to for getting the coffee mugs to our store. Now, in this case, they're broken. They're not going to have us ship those items back to us because what good is a broken mug to that company? It's useless to them too. So your bet there. So for now, what they're gonna say is, okay, well, we'll issue the refund, right? Just send us a picture of proof that they're broken and they're cracked, and we'll go ahead and issue you your refund and reduce the amount that you owe on this invoice. Okay, but do not send the product back because again, they're broken. It's useless to us as well. So they're not gonna hot glue them together. What are they gonna do? Crush into mini pieces and remold them? That's probably way more expensive to do than it is to just produce a new one. So in this case, that's probably what's good. The best thing to do is you're going to record how much you should be receiving back. So in this case, 4 times that $2.46 is going to give you the $9.84. Right? So you're getting a refund for $9.84. So
we go back to the general journal. And we put in 984 on both of those. And then the note is return 4 broken mugs for full refund.
who am I returning it to?
Oh, all things ceramic.
Do we know exactly which invoice we're going to get reduced?
Look at the one from before. I don't have it handy.
So let's go ahead and take a look at my subsidiary ledger, right? Since we're looking at the previous batch that we just received recently on that 20th.
159.
159. And what's the rule of thumb if you're going to be receiving a vendor credit? You add a letter C for credit. Okay. And then, so you know, so when you enter this into your subsidiary ledger, you know where this credit belongs to. It belongs to this invoice, and it's going to reduce it. Okay. And then, of course, then you can go ahead and put in return for cracked mugs for full refund. And that's it. Okay.
And then you go to the general journals.
Ledger.
Yeah, I'm. That one's sticking. I pull up the right one.
Okay.
Okay, so we go to liabilities first. Accounts payable.
Hold on. I'm sorry. There we go. We're going to go to liabilities first when I'm on the right form. Okay, liabilities.
Okay, we put the 21st of June, invoice 159C, page 9, and we debit 984.
So what is my ending balance in my liabilities account? Accounts payable account.
I don't have the Excel account open, so I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
Okay, anybody else who's in this class?
I have 16374.95.
Good, excellent. 16,374.95. Okay.
And then we go to expenses.
Expenses, good, because we dealt with the contra account.
Right. And to the purchase returns and allowances.
Okay, here you go. Purchase returns and allowances.
621. I would mark on that, yeah, return 4 cracked mugs, and then put the invoice 159C on it.
Okay.
And then page 9. And we credit 984.
Good.
Yeah, we've already updated the inventory, so we go to subsidiary. And we mark on the 21st that we return 4 cracked mugs. $159C. Page 9. And we, okay, so how do you put that in how do you put that in on this? Where do you put the 984?
Well, what column makes sense?
The payment, right? Because it would be a credit memo that came back to us, so to speak.
Okay, what other columns do we have?
Oh, returns and allowance. I didn't see that. So the 984 goes there.
Yep, $9.84, which is going to give you
Bring that down, and that makes it 280 something.
yeah. It reduces it, right?
But,
Now in this case, right, I don't have an extra column to have adjusted invoices because you're not all the time going to have adjusted invoice left and right because then that means you're not doing really good business, right? If you're constantly buying merchandise and then you're constantly returning the merchandise, that's not a good sign. That means you need to work with a different vendor who will prevent that from happening because that's frustrating as much as possible, right? You're constantly ordering and they keep shipping you the wrong items or they keep breaking those items or due to bad packaging because bad shipping is gonna if they broke from shipping then it's bad packaging, right? So again, you shouldn't be dealing with a vendor if they cannot even give you the quality and the time to pack the items for you because again it's their brand that you're selling. So if they can't do that and hold up on their end, then you shouldn't be working with this vendor. Same thing with the customer, right? If you notice that a customer keeps returning the products and keep buying and then returning, buying and returning, then you need to stop working with that customer because they're not guaranteed to buy your product and keep it. Or second thing too is you might have to fire one of your employees because if they're the reason why a lot of the items that is either broken or maybe they packaged it wrong, then you might think that might be a consideration that you might be having to fire your employee for whoever is taking care of your customers. So at the end of the day, that's why there is no extra column to make adjustments to invoices. All right, that is optional if you prefer to have one. By all means, create that column for it. But in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and put it on the side here, saying that the invoice number invoice number 159, right? I'm just gonna take the actual amount that I owe, right, plus my returns, right, or in this case, not plus, but subtract out that return to get me my actual amount that I should be billed. So in this case, you should be receiving a brand spanking new bill that has the adjusted amounts recorded on there, because that is the company's responsibility to make sure that when they are issuing you a vendor credit and they told you that they're going to apply it to the invoice, you want to make sure that they apply it to the correct invoice, right? There's a lot of things that you have to do when it comes to returns and allowances, because there's so many options that can happen, and you want to ensure everything is correct. So they should be responsible to send you and issue you a brand new invoice that has the updated information that includes the credit memo that's applied to it. All right, to let you know how much you owe. But in this case, I don't have an adjusted invoice column, so that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate it myself. So that means I don't owe $296 anymore. I owe only $286 because it's roughly about $10 that you're taking the discount out for. So that's exactly my updated invoice right there. Okay. Now, of course, that also is reflected into the total amount that you owe to this vendor, because again, you put a returns and allowances, which decreased your accounts payable, right? As you can see right here, it became a negative. But the thing is, you can't tell which one is it's taking that $9.84 off of. That's why it's important that you make your reference point saying that you're labeling it as the invoice number with the letter C to let you know that this credit belongs to this particular invoice. Okay? So that is rule of thumb there. And again, now I know that my new invoice with the 159 letter C with the or R if it's revised, right, should give me a grand total amount that I owe $286.96 opposed to what it was previously. Okay. Whew. All right. Now that we finally adjusted this right here, you're right. We already did the adjusted the inventory. We adjusted the journals and the ledger itself. So now we can go ahead and see what has happened next. Okay. So now we run into a situation where Miss Katie's Coffee Corner decides to call us and tell us that, hey, we opened our box and we received 2 of these mugs were actually broken. Okay, so in this case, right, because we are acting as a wholesaler, right, we must issue them a full refund because we were responsible for making the shipment and delivering it to Katie's Coffee Corner. So again, it could be definitely our fault that, maybe we shipped it, or the way that Albert delivered the coffee mugs, that, maybe he put the box down too hard, or maybe he put it into the car too hard, right? Anything can happen between him sending out delivering this order, right? So in this case, because Katie is asking, because we are acting as a vendor to her, they are asking for a full credit to be issued, and they want it to be applied to the invoice number 101. So in this case, yes, they want a full refund, but because they did make a payment, they don't want their money back, they want us to go put it against their invoice, so then it reduces the amount that they owe. So then they owe us less. Makes sense. They don't want their money back. They want you to apply the return to their invoice. So with all that being said, how do I do this? How do I issue Katie a refund?
It's a sales, returns, and allowance.
Good. A sales returns and allowance. So let's take a look to see what account that is. Okay. So sales returns and allowances. Got it. $45,000. What other key information do we have here?
I believe the Katie's invoice is on the account receivable.
Correct,
But
right?
we're gonna double check with the sub side.
You want to, okay. You want to double check with a subsidiary ledger? Okay.
Yeah.
Subsidiary ledger, Katie. Okay, so is her account on the accounts receivable?
Yes.
Okay, so in this case,
She still owes us $109.
yeah, she still owes $109, right? Now, you would definitely find out, right, through the invoice, which is right here, invoice number 101. And you can also go to the accounts receivable account and see that invoice number 101 is there, okay? So in this case, yes, we are going to take it out from accounts receivable, okay? So we got 45,000 for the sales returns and allowances, and we have the accounts receivable to be 11,000. So today's the 21st, right? We got a sales returns and allowances, which is a contra account to sales. And we're also going to reduce the amount that she owes. Now, how much are we going to reduce Katie's invoice by? How much are we going to reduce Katie's invoice by?
Uh, 2 times $4.99.
How do you know? Where'd you get this $4.99 from?
From that wholesale chart.
You could get it from there. Where else can you get that information? Because I don't want to look up where that chart is.
Well, on the sales, on the revenue, she bought 20 units for 99.8.
Okay. That's extra work for you.
So,
Where else can we be able to find it? That could be a way.
inventory.
Not inventory.
No.
Not inventory. Because, yes, technically you can go to sales and look up that she bought 20 mugs and how much it costs you. You take that total, you divide it by 20, but there's much more quicker and easier way to see that. Without having me to scroll all the way up to however many pages this spreadsheet is. Who took Katie's order?
On her sales order.
Her sales order is going to give you all the details into regards to what she ordered, right? Okay, so let's take a look at her sales order. Right, Katie, right? We said she bought 20 ceramic coffee mugs. It cost us we sold it to her for $4.99 at the vendor discount, wholesale discount. So in this case, for $99.80. So now, right, she wants to return 2 of them. So now we know that it's going to cost me $4.99 per cup. So What is my grand total amount that I am going to be refunding Katie?
$9.98.
Okay, good. Right. So you could do 2 times the $4.99, and you're gonna get $9.98. Right?
And we can note that we are giving credit on the invoice 111
To who?
to Katie's Coffee Corner.
Credit, right? You said credit to her invoice.
Yes.
For?
Okay. For 2 broken mugs.
Good.
So now we update the journal ledgers. And so sales returned allowance is on the revenue. It's 621. And the invoice 101C. And then it's on page 9. Oh, so it's better to write the 2 broken mug.
Well, in this case,
Okay.
the invoice is good enough, but I'm going to be a little more detailed. Okay. General journal. Remember, you don't have to copy anything that I do. It's just how I feel on displaying my information.
And it's $9.98 for the debit.
Right? Because sales returns and allowance. Notice this. This is a debit. What are sales normally? They're credited, so that's why it's a contra account. Okay? So, yes.
And then we update the account receivable. It's 621 invoice 101C.
This one is fine. You
Okay.
don't need to put the detail on that one.
And then it's on page 9. And then credit of 998. So I have 163.41.
I got 41.
Yes, that's what I got.
Okay. I only heard 0.4. 0.41. Okay. Good. Okay. What else?
And I believe, did we update her customers sub ledger?
No, we did not.
Okay. So I wrote credit for 2 broken mugs. And then we copied the invoice number from top and add C. And then page 9 and go all the way to sales return. Another one for $9.98. So her balance now is $99.54.
Okay, same thing here. Now, in case, right, she decides to order more stuff from us and she hasn't paid us for what she originally purchased from us, this is where I'm going to go ahead and make a note on the side here to let her know what the invoice, the new invoice is, right? Or for the total amount. So it's for $99.54, just in case, right? She starts buying more stuff, and then the balance will change eventually. Right? So in this case, now it's our duty to issue Katie a brand new invoice, right? Or in this case, this one is going to be a revised invoice, right? With the 101 R, right? And it's going to have her original, what she originally ordered from us, and then the return or the credit will be applied. So that means her records is going to show that she owes us $99.54. Okay. Good. What else?
That's it.
Okay. Question to you guys. Do I need to update my inventory?
No, because no.
Why? Didn't we just issue a refund?
Yes. But we are not getting those mugs back, don't we? We are not.
Okay.
And then we already. Oh, can we ask All Things Ceramic to give us credit for 2 broken mugs? In addition to we already asked for?
No, because those were perfect when we got it. It was broken when when Albert delivered them.
Right.
So in this case, I mean that would be definitely
It's
unethical.
loss. Yeah, isn't that our loss?
That would be our loss, correct?
Okay.
But yes, it would be unethical if you decided to say, "Hey, I got 6 broken coffee mugs," when you sold them and certain things like that. So yes, that would be unethical. Now again, it's up to your discretion. If you think if you think that you want to do that, well, again, it is unethical. Right? But so we understand, right? But we sold the product, but we issued a refund. You said they didn't even send us the item back. Why? What's wrong with the items?
Oh, we cannot sell it.
Exactly. So there's no point to have to put that in our inventory either. But what's the second thing?
So we won't put it back in inventory.
We wouldn't put it back in inventory.
But would it change our purchase expense?
We didn't make any adjustments to purchase expense. That's correct.
So
So why wouldn't this sales returns affect my purchase expense or affect my periodic inventory?
I didn't think it would, so I left it as is. I didn't touch the inventory about it. So
Why? Why didn't you do it?
because like you were saying that when we got it from the vendor, it was perfect, and then we sold it as our product to another customer, and then it was broken, and then I thought we just have to take it as our loss.
Okay, you're hitting on a point. Now, what was the key word? Do we keep track of sales under periodic inventory?
No.
No, so that would give you the second reason why you don't even care whether you returned the item or not, because you don't even keep a track record of it. So even if Katie gave back to us 2 perfectly in conditioned coffee mugs, we wouldn't even keep a record of it.
Oh.
Why? Because this is only for our purchases. We only care about our purchases. We calculate our sales as soon as we go down to the basement and take a physical count. And if there is those items that are given back to us, it would be there.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's when we update.
Yes. So we won't even find out whether we sold them completely or not, or whether they returned the product to us or not. In this case, they're broken mugs. You're right. It's useless to us. We can't even sell it back. So at that point, that gives us the very first reason why we don't put it back into our inventory. It's useless to us. So yes, we just take it as a loss. All right, I'm just testing your knowledge on this. All right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if that was the case, now does that affect Albert's earnings? Should you consider this to affect Albert's earnings?
Well, he didn't purposely broke the mag upon delivery.
Good, right? In this case, we're not going to be petty because think about it. What's 40% of $2 or $9.98?
Like 36 cents?
And is that worth to revoke from his paycheck? No. So at that point, don't be petty. Okay, so in this case, no. Whatever dollar that he has earned through sales, whether or not the product was returned or not, Albert's going to keep every single penny. All right?
And I'm sure he have to take that little why is mug broken complaint from Katie's corner. So.
Oh yeah, of course. And plus, we have to also understand this. We're hiring employees that I don't know, we or may not know, right? They could be just random strangers to us, and we have to trust them and train them to do the job correctly, right? So we have to give them that equal opportunity that if they mess up, we have to give them another chance, because that is how a business grows, and that's how you get trustworthy employees. Is you have to train them. You have to train him what he did wrong. Maybe he didn't pack them very correctly, and maybe tell him next time, gently put the box down, something like that, or put the coffee beans down first and then the coffee mugs on top, so that when you put it down, the coffee beans can cushion the coffee mugs. Wrap up the coffee mugs in paper. Whatever reasons that you have to train your employee, train them. In this case, he's a sales representative, so you're gonna have to lecture him in this case because he's representing your company. So again, there are many things, but at this point, we will forgive Albert and just tell him, don't do it again next time. Okay? So, no, we're not going to dock his pay, and no, we're not going to penalize him for anything. All right? That's the purpose of having a business, is you're going to eventually have those employees that will, potentially compromise your business, right? But they don't mean it to do so, right? It's just by accident. Okay, good. All right, so let's go ahead and deliver to Super A Market. Let's go deliver to them. So here is what the invoice was. So with invoice 103, they purchased 50 pounds of regular coffee, 45 pounds of Supreme coffee, as well as 25 ceramic coffee mugs. We charged them an additional $30 for delivery, and of course, we didn't require any down payments or anything like that. We gave Super A Market some terms. Okay, so you get a 1% 10 net 20. And the total amount that Super A owes is going to be $498.80. So how do we record this transaction? How do we record that we sold to Super A Market?
For them, all the amount went to our account.
Okay.
So we have to put it account receivable.
Okay. What else?
And then we have a sale of coffee beans.
Okay.
So we have a regular coffee sale and then Supreme coffee sale.
Okay.
As well as ceramic coffee mug sale.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also charge them delivery income.
Yes. Okay, so again, you can find a transaction that looks very similar. So for instance, this one right here that we sold to the corner bookstore, all you got to do is just copy the account receivable and do not copy the checking account. Now, before I do that, let's go ahead and take a look at the bottom of our journal. Do we have enough space to enter this transaction in?
No.
No.
We need more than that.
Correct. So in this case, right, we need to move on to the next page. So we're going to be working on page 10. However, this is a perfect space for anybody to go ahead and put in a transaction, right? Someone can write them a check for themselves. So here is a preventative measure that you can do to prevent any fraudulent charges from happening without your supervision, okay, is to draw a line, okay? Now, there's many things that you can do. If you're doing this by pen and paper, straightforward, you just draw a line from one corner of the journal to the end of the other corner for the journal. Now, if you're doing this in Excel, you're just going to go ahead and click that insert, and you're going to go ahead and click on, in this case, my ribbon has shrunken. You're going to go ahead and click shapes. Okay, so if you click on shapes, you have a bunch of things that you can choose. I'm going to choose a line. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click it from this top corner box, left corner, click and drag all the way down to the bottom of the last cell that you see. Now, as you can see, there's a very faint line on there. I want that to be really thick so you can see it. Boom, right? And I'm going to click away from that, and there it is. Now, what you can do too is now that you have that, yes, that line is movable and they can delete that transaction, that they could delete that line anytime. But what you can do is you can save this you could save this as a PDF file, or you can save it as an Excel spreadsheet, but make it only view or read only. All right, that's a fancy terminology, right? Or what you could also do too is you can protect the sheet, meaning you can select the cells and protect it, meaning you're going to lock the cell so then nobody can add anything in here. And of course, you can set a password for that too. So there's a lot of measurements that you can do to prevent any fraudulent charges from happening or someone looking at your books and entering in a transaction for themselves. Okay? So again, that is definitely something that you need to know for Excel. Now again, you probably won't be using Excel for bookkeeping. You'll be using a program, but this is just, for practice purposes, just for you to know so you can, practice it for yourself in the future, right? If you have enough space to enter in a transaction, you need to make sure that it is not available. Now, do not delete any of those spaces. Why? Because let's say I want to print these pages out. What's going to happen if you modify any of those squares? They're not going to fit the page, right? In fact, because they're all connected, they're going to shrink and pull everything up. And then now your pages are going to not look uniform. Second, too, is what if I just need one more extra line? Well, you can do that, but in this case, that's not recommended. Even if it's just for the description, I would just, hold yourself off and just put it on the next one. Unless it's a very, very small transaction where it's only needing 2 or 3 lines, then I would say that's okay, right? To add that extra line. It's not gonna stretch your page too much. But if you need to insert 2 or 3 rows in there, no, do not do it, because you're going to mess up the formatting of these pages. They're already pre-formatted for you to be able to print out on a regular piece of paper, and they fit per page. Okay? So again, that's just a safety measure for you to be able to know, to have, and be aware of. All right, and now that I finished drawing that line, I can go ahead and copy that transaction I was talking about earlier. So this one, right, I don't need checking, so I can just click on accounts receivable and click and drag and highlight what I need to have for this transaction. And I'm going to go ahead and paste it into my journal, just like that. Okay, and today's the 21st. I also pasted in the cost of goods sold because that's what we're going to do anyways afterwards. Okay, so now that I have everything here, now here's what's even cooler or even better. I don't have multiple debit accounts, so I can go ahead and lock this information by putting in, oh no, I think I accidentally put in on my debits. I can go ahead and go equal sum, right? And this should equal to all of my credit accounts. So then I don't have to run my equal sum formula at the bottom of my page anymore after every single transaction. This one, all of the sales should equal up my total debits, okay? And then, of course, these, I accidentally copied the debit row, so I'm going to clear those out. Right? So there you go. So that means every amount that I'm going to be putting in there should give you the grand total amount, and that can quickly validate my formula for me that my total debits will equal my total credits. So in this case, what was the total amount of regular coffee that I sold? I sold 50 pounds of my regular coffee.
So it's 16450. Oh,
Okay, 16450. Yes, sorry.
okay. I was like,
Okay.
and then Supreme is 179.55.
Mm-hmm.
And then ceramic mug was 124.75.
Good.
And delivery charge is $30.
So that gave me a grand total of $498.80, which is correct. Matches your total amount of debits as well. Okay. Good. Now I need to do, last but not least, to clean up my description. So who did I sell to?
It's Super A Market. It's invoice 103. And then 1% 10, net 20.
Good.
And so now we
What do you want to do first?
general ledger.
General ledger. Okay.
And then first is asset.
Right, under accounts receivable, we are already there.
Yes. And so it's we are page 10, right? Yes.
We are now on page 10, yes. For how much?
So total it's 498.80.
Good. So what's my grand total accounts receivable?
662.21.
662.21. Good.
Yes. And then we go to revenue tab.
Okay.
And then it's a coffee bean regular.
Mm-hmm.
So we go all the way up. And then it's invoice 103. And it's a 50 pound. And it's page 10. And then it's 164.50. And my total is 246.75.
Good.
And then Spring Coffee, it's also invoice 103. And that one is 45 pounds. And then it's 17955. And total is 259.35.
.35?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
And then we go to the ceramic mug sale. And then it's 25 units. And it's page 10. And it's 124.75.
Oops. 1, 2, 4, 7, 5. Okay.
And then I have 396.29 for total.
Good.
And then we go to delivery income. And then it's invoice 103. And it's on page 10. And it's another $30. Make it to a total of $90.
Good.
And then, before I forget, I would update the sales order on subsidiary
Okay.
ledger.
Hmm?
Because I always have tendency of forget that.
That's okay.
And
Yeah.
that's sales order 103 turned into invoice 103. And then we delivered on 6/21. And then now we can update the commission expense for Albert. And it's a Super A Market, invoice 103, total of 498.80.
Mm-hmm.
And then bid is 199.5.2.
Good. $199.52.
So now his commission is 338.24 in total.
338.24 is what I currently owe. Or in this case, I keep referring I as Bob. As we owe Bob $338.24 because Albert's doing such a great job.
Yes. And then we also needed to update customers for Super 8 Market that we delivered them their order.
Okay, so
It's 45 Supreme and 25 mag. The invoice is 103. It's page 10. And it's 1%, 10, net 20.
so in this case, we only give them 20 days to pay up because they owe $498. It's a lot. They almost owe $500.
So July 1st for discount date.
Okay, so plus 10 days from now is July 1st.
July 11th is their due date.
Good. July 11th. Good.
Yes, and then their sale is 498.80, and they owe us 498.80.
Okay, so let's do the formula once again. It's sales minus advance payment minus returns minus discounts minus payments to give you your grand total amount that they owe you. Okay, for that particular invoice. Good. I'm actually going to stop here. Okay, we'll finish up the inventory when we come back from break. Okay, because it's exactly 3:05. I should let you guys go on break right now. So for today, let's just take a quick 15-minute break. So please be back no later than 3:20, and we'll finish up what we can for the week 3 remaining. Okay.